What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the third May edition of Raw, as well as some of the latest news, including two huge WWE returns and a new faction, another time Braun Strowman was buried, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. As always, we aren't recapping the matches, but just providing you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, infrequently used stars. Last night's Raw was refreshing in that fans got to see some Raw superstars that for whatever reason have been missing in action. Angel Garza, Drew Gulak, and Lucha House Party all wrestled tonight, reminding fans of what they have to offer as utility players in the WWE. While none of them may get beyond mid-card level, they have something to contribute, and they help break up the monotony of seeing the same superstars competing every week. Number 2, MVP promo gold. While fans are still bemoaning the end of the Hurt Business, there's no getting around MVP's gift to the gab. MVP's promo where he said Braun Strowman could eat a bowl full of 4-leaf clovers and still not have enough luck to beat Bobby Lashley was hilarious, and a reminder of how managers can really be useful in this day. Lashley can cut adequate promos, but MVP is always there to make the promos that get fans excited about the Almighty's match. He knows that promos are more than about running down your opponents. He praised Drew and Braun's abilities, putting them over as viable contenders, but reminded fans that neither man is at Bobby Lashley's level. Number 3, the real monster among men. Braun Strowman may be big, but he's not almost big. Braun Strowman is no longer the real monster among men, as AJ Styles' tag team partner almost has replaced him as Raw's resident gigantic badass. While his in-ring abilities are still limited, he looks downright imposing, and the WWE is building him well as an unstoppable force. We won't give almost a backhanded compliment by saying he's already surpassed WWE Hall of Famer the Great Khali in the ring, but we are eager to see how much he can improve. Number 4, backstage intrigue. Raw isn't known for its interesting storylines involving wrestlers, but the Red Brand is doing a good job with the backstage intrigue surrounding Sonya Deville and authority figure Adam Pearce. For those who have been watching and or caring, Deville has slowly used her position as Pearce's assistant to gain more power, subtly booking matches she wants behind Pearce's back. Some fans think this could lead to one authority figure taking over on Raw while the other would take over on SmackDown. Whatever the future holds, this storyline has been interesting and given a slow but not glacial pace to build up. Number 5, Charlotte shines. While some fans were unhappy to see Charlotte Flair inserted into the Asuka vs Rhea Ripley Raw Women's Championship match, there's no denying that the Queen is back. Not only did she manage to get a passable match out of Dana Brooke, but she cut a scathing promo on Brooke, reminding Dana that she was still Flair's protege. As we said last week, Flair should never return to being a babyface, as she excels at being an arrogant heel. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, corny comedy again. Apparently there's no idea so stupid that it can't be recycled. Last week's bit where the New Day tossed rotten tomatoes at Elias and Jackson Riker was corny enough, but having Elias and Riker try and get back only to pelt Randy Orton was even more stupid. If this is how they set up matches, we're pleading with Raw to bring back Raw Roulette. Number 2, burying Braun. Last night's main event said it all, as the WWE seems intent on removing any doubt about Braun Strowman doing the job during the WWE Championship match at Backlash. The purpose of non-title matches leading to the title matches is usually to create the illusion that the challenger can beat the champion. Although they seemed serious about protecting Bobby Lashley, a DQ loss could have created doubt as to who will win the match at Backlash. A Strowman's loss served as a reminder that he has no chance, and in the unlikely event he wins at Backlash, no one will see him as a credible champion. Number 3, wasting Mansoor's debut. The WWE wasted a chance to introduce a new superstar to Raw and give him a chance to get over by having Mansoor, who's been on an incredibly unbeaten streak since 2019, not counting his NXT losses, by his DQ loss to United States champion Sheamus. While Mansoor's wins were on shows many fans don't bother to watch, the creative team's complete cluelessness about how to book the WWE's first Saudi Arabian-born star exemplifies everything wrong with Raw. While his popularity is largely limited to Saudi Arabia, what was the purpose of him faring poorly in his first match? Number 4, don't split up Miz and Morrison. The WWE loves to split up tag teams besides the New Day, and it looks like John Morrison and The Miz are next. Both superstars work well against each other, but there's still plenty of life left in the team, so why break them up now? It's not like the WWE is bursting with quality tag teams right now, and it's doubtful how much room there is on Raw for a Miz vs Morrison feud. Number 5, what's the purpose of a Benjamin vs Xalander program? Was there any reason for breaking up the Hurt Business? Well, fans are still asking that question, and now they're asking why the WWE decided to break up Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. Granted, the team has been buried ever since parting ways with the Hurt Business, but why the sudden fascination with a Benjamin versus Alexander program? If Vince McMahon has given up on both stars, why even keep them around on Raw, or WWE for that matter? Just another example of WWE throwing out a storyline that is unlikely to develop into anything meaningful or worth the fans' time. And number 6, where's The Fiend? Has the WWE given up on The Fiend? Bray Wyatt's abominable alter ego spent months off television after Randy Orton roasted him at 2020's TLC, and now The Fiend has been gone since he dropped his match to the Viper at WrestleMania 37. The Fiend is one of the best things going on television, and it's a bad sign if the WWE doesn't know what to do with him. On a related note, Alexa Bliss and her angle with the mysterious Lily has done nothing to make up for The Fiend's absence. If they wanted to double the impact of The Fiend and Bliss by splitting them up, they failed miserably. But that was the good and the bad. What about the downright ugly? And we have 2. Number 1, do I have your attention now? Well, that's the new catchphrase for former WWE diva Eva Marie as she returned to Raw in a video vignette. Maria definitely has the fans' attention as they're wondering why the WWE dumped talented stars and Mickie James and the Iconics to bring back someone whose biggest contribution to the WWE seemed to be appearing on Total Divas. Yeah, we get that Eva Marie was probably signed up a few months ago, but why are they putting all the efforts into her when they should have been putting it into the Iconics? And number 2, the women's tag team division dismay. Speaking of the badly booked women's division, last night's match between women's tag team champions Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Naomi and Lana was another example of what Vince Russo has aptly described as the writing team's cut and paste approach to booking Raw. Need to fill in 10 minutes? Well, throw in a match with the women's champion against one of the many meaningless teams available, whether it's the Riot Squad or here Naomi and Lana. But that was the good, the bad, and the downright ugly for Raw. What did you guys think of it? And what do you guys think of the return of Eva Marie? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now our first bit of news looks at a big WWE return with a new faction. Jinder Mahal is back, and fans looking for the modern day Maharaja need look no further than Main Event. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, that's where the former champion recently defeated Jeff Hardy. Yikes. As noted by Ringside News' Felix Upton, Jinder Mahal also had the team of Indu Sher, Saurav Gujjar and Rinku Singh with him during his match, creating this new faction. Now, wrestling on Main Event is anything but a sign of a major push, but they may be getting Mahal warmed up before sending the injury-prone star back to Raw. What do you guys think of Jinder Mahal returning? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Braun's cancelled WWE Championship. Strowman is one of the WWE's most intimidating wrestlers, and yet somehow they've found a way to repeatedly bury him without pathetic planning and booking. Fans have seen Strowman set up as a dominant force on the cusp of championship greatness, only to have the proverbial rug pulled out from underneath him. A former WWE writer spoke about this when he appeared on the Say Less with Kaz, Loki and Rosie podcast. There was one time where we all thought a match was going. This was, man, F it, I'm not working there anymore. It was in Saudi, Crown Jewel 2018, and Braun was supposed to beat Brock. This is right after Roman announced that he had cancer, right? So Brock and Braun were supposed to fight for the world title, and we had a whole Monday Night Raw written with Braun Strowman as champion, and then psych, Brock Lesnar wins, and then as soon as Brock wins, we all had to go back into the office, rewrite the whole show, and I just thought it was where it's just like, oh, it's just kind of keeping us on the DL, on the down low. Whatever, but I didn't know that it could change like that. As fans know, it wasn't until 2020 that Strowman won his first singles title, the IC Championship, followed by a short reign with the Universal Championship. However, they did nothing to elevate the monster among men with either reign. And finally, Chelsea Green's garbage bag story. Last but not least, it seems like every future endeavoured superstar has an anecdote about getting their property returned to them in a garbage bag, and Chelsea Green is no exception. Chelsea talked about recently receiving a FedEx box with a large garbage bag filled to the brim with various items. Unfortunately, none of them were hers, and some of them belonged to Natalia Neidhart. Green was surprised by how she was told to handle the situation. He who shall not be named, because he who shall not be named was let go from WWE. He told me to drop the box off at someone's house, send the box on its way. I was shook because here's the thing, the contents of this box is expensive. I'm not going to just drop it off at someone else's and hope it gets to Tampa. Listening to stories like this and watching the WWE product makes us wonder how the company manages to operate on a day-to-day business. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, and the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of Raw. Leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.